All right, everybody. I'm sorry I haven't been on the scene lately. I was about to dye my hair, shave, shave the chest and everything. But instead, I'm going to talk about some stuff that's been happening and it needs to be talked about. Oh, so James Harden was crossover, great crossover. It's not a foul. You know why? Because the ref don't call that anymore. He don't call no push-offs. This ain't 10 years ago where people were flopping. Now, that guy, why was this so viral? Why was this so funny? Is it because James Harden stepped back and looked at him? Yeah. Has James Harden done better crossovers? Yeah, you can look up. He crossed over that Asian dude that used to play in the Bobcats. Something fierce. The guy from Taiwan. I mean, he if you can cross over a guy and make him fall without touching him, I mean that's even better. He had him like in the Twilight Zone. I mean, it was crazy. Like he put a spell on him. And Lee Ling some. He just crossed. You can look it up. Hardin crosses over. That shooter dude, Ling or Lee or whatever his name is from Thailand. He was on New York, made the big splash. But the point is, the guy on the Clippers is pretty. He's just a funny looking dude. He's just a goofy kind of looking dude. It's like if you crossed over Goofy from Donald Duck, and I mean he's just a goofy, funny looking dude too. It's not like he crossed over like a legit dude who looks cool. He crossed over like a funny looking dude who just kind of sat there and a lot of people get pushed off a little bit and get crossed, but don't fall too. I mean, they just say, "Hey, ref, he pushed me a little bit. What's up with that?" Or they just stand there. I mean, you can look at every game. Hard does that, but it's just funny, and so you can stop it right there. That's why that is what it is. Okay, and then he also said something funny at the end of the game when they asked him. He said, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing sitting there? What are you doing sitting there?" I was just saying, "Hey, what are you doing? If I should be playing defense, what are you doing sitting there?" Which was funny for Harden to say. So, yeah. So here, next point. Cut. Next point. James Harden. Let's just talk about James Harden. MVP, of course. Assist. 3-pointers. Free throws. Not afraid to take it to the rim. Might get the most wins. Most likely will get the most wins. He did it without CP3, so yeah, he definitely MVP. Even more so deserving than what's his name for last year, Westbrook for last year, because he's actually going to get like 60, 65 wins and challenge Golden State for the top spot. Which, if they get that spot, they may beat Golden State in Game 7 in the Houston arena. It's a possibility. You never know. You're one injury away, as they say. Now, as for Harden's legacy, is not really tarnished to me with that Game 6 against San Antonio, where he only got 10 points and he got like 6 turnovers. Because, I mean, the coach said he was injured. He said he was injured, so you just gotta believe him. Yeah, you're supposed to play through injury like Kobe against the Celtics, but you know what? Kobe played against injury, and he tore his Achilles. So, it's something that you just have to say, okay, well, that was an injury, and it's not really a black mark. You can't put a black mark on somebody's career or legacy just because they're injured. So, it might have been a great choice, but if he really, really would have messed up his body, like RG3, remember what he did in the playoffs and how his career's gone since then. So, and as for getting deep into the playoffs, he got deep into the playoffs with Oklahoma. He got to the finals, and he was a big part in beating San Antonio to get there. He made some big shots against San Antonio. Now, he didn't do so good in the finals, but I mean, come on. That's Cleveland. I mean, Miami at their best, and Westbrook is kind of a cancer to play with, and he was young too. So, and as for getting to the Western Conference Finals, he got to the Western Conference Finals. I don't know if you remember, he beat the Clippers Now, he didn't really beat them that bad in Game 6. Actually, he was on the bench when they made that big comeback. But still, in Game 7, they beat him. And he was a big part of that, and he got to the Western Conference Finals. Now, if I do recall, maybe they lost 4-1, I think, to Golden State when he was crossing over, and Chris Webber, not Chris Webber, but the one big Dwight Howard should have took that ball in instead of passing it back to Hardin. He crossed over and he got stolen by Curry, and then that was pretty much the series. But I really like Harden's career. I have nothing bad to say about him, and that's it. His defense is something that's gonna, I don't think he's gonna win any type of. I think he may get to the finals. I think he might even beat Golden State. But I don't think he'll win any finals. I take that back. I don't think he'll beat Golden State, because champions and people that beat a champion team like Golden State have to really know how to play D and hustle, and he just hasn't done that in the critical situations. So he has no experience. You can't learn defense and hustle in the playoffs. You have to do it night in and night out, like Kawhi Leonard, like Curry, like Kobe, like whoever, and have that killer mentality when there's a 50-50 ball or a loose ball, or you have to take a charge, or you have to get a rebound. If you remember, Kobe was playing with like a cast on his finger. I'm sorry to use Kobe so many times, but Kobe was playing with a cast on his finger and bone spurs, so he couldn't walk, and had to get shot up with morphine or whatever just to get out there and play against Boston. He beat Boston. Boston was a juggernaut, man. A juggernaut. And I don't know if you remember LeBron against Oklahoma, against Hardin. He was cramping up. I remember the first time I thought LeBron was a real dude, a real nigga, if you want to say. When I don't know if you guys remember, only like real ballers will remember this, but it was like Game 5. And I think it was 2-2. And he went for a shot, and he was cramping up because of so much work, stress, and maybe steroids. I don't know, but he was. Please don't put no steroids on. But I mean, he's just a madman. But he takes such a workload. He was cramping up. He also cramped up the next, I think, 2 years later against San Antonio in Game 1 too. But he was cramping up. He was getting spasms in his legs, and he caught the ball like 10 feet out. And you could see his leg cramping up, and he still made the bank shot jumper, like one-handed bank shot jumper. And I remember seeing that and going, man, that's a real dude. Because if he can just like be cramping up and spasming and still make that shot, that's an amazing like inner power. And it was more like that. That's like that motivational stuff, because you're cramping up. Your muscles are spasming, and he still made that shot. I was like, man, he's going to win this, and he's going to win a couple more. I knew it. So, from that point, so you have to be like that. And Harden hasn't shown anything like that. Anything. I mean, like Charlie Murphy with the pancakes. Yeah, pancakes. Yeah. And then Prince served us pancakes. Yeah, Harden hasn't done that. And against Golden State, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, he's going to have to, show that. And he doesn't have the experience to show that. That stuff that Ariza has. You figure he should know it, because Ariza has it. Ariza showed it against Orlando with the Lakers. He was a big part of that first championship without Shaq for Kobe. He was made big threes, played deep against, locked up Turkoglu, played awesome, So, but he can't do it alone. I mean, he's not going to be able to. You have to have all those guys doing that. And Chris Paul is fragile. He's a little lily in the field. He always gets hurt. He's just like Blake. No disrespect to Chris Paul, no disrespect to Blake, but the facts are the facts. You guys get injured. And you can't play through those injuries like Kobe, and you don't lift enough weights and stay in the weight room enough to get to 9 in a row, 8 in a row finals like LeBron without injuries. You just don't have that. And Blake Griffin doesn't have the man up enough to slap somebody. Not slap. I hate saying slap. But I have seen some good slaps in my time on the basketball court. But he doesn't have the man up to punch somebody or stand up to a punch like Kobe did with the guy from New York. Or, you have to punch somebody so you stop getting fouled, like these flagrant fouls against you. And Kobe getting clotheslined. I keep using Kobe. Please excuse me. Let's use LeBron. Okay, when LeBron was getting pushed in the air by the guy from Indiana and almost flipped over, he came up with an elbow in his face and he was like, "Don't do that no more," and you can't take that anymore, and you stop getting those crazy fouls because Blake Griffin gets really, really fouled. And that's off topic, but you understand my point. So that's it. I went 10 minutes long. I'll cut that up for you. Golden State. My predictions are Golden State in 6 games or 7 games, depending on. Well, let's just say Golden State in 6 or 7 against Houston. Even if Houston gets the number 1 seed, and with their style of offense, if you don't know, this is we'll cut this. We'll talk about Houston style of offense and Golden State style of offense. 2 different things. Golden State. Oh, no, you know what I want to talk about? Let's cut that. Let's just talk about legacies and the rest of the league for the next 5 years. So LeBron James, let's say LeBron James, you got 5 years left. Okay? You're 33, you want to get to 38 or something like that, and you can turn it off, try to get on a team that's going to win a championship at the 39 or 40 like Gary Payton. So what you need to do now, when you can get traded, is get to Popovich. Because Popovich is going to give you the best chance of winning at least one more, maybe even 2. Because you need all the greatest championships that you're following had great coaches. Phil Jackson, 6 championships. That's not a coincidence. Kobe Bryant, 5 championships. All the championships were with Phil Jackson. You have Tyronn Lue, the fish-eyed fool, and the Filipino guy. Who the fuck? Who are those guys? You got 3 with nobodies. No disrespect to Tyronn Lue, and no disrespect to the Filipino guy. But let's face it, the Filipino guy is the reason why they lost that first one, along with LeBron. But he could have changed his, he could have motivated. I'm sure Popovich would have figured out a way to beat Dallas if he was the coach of that team with that talent. And also maybe the first champion. Well, Tyronn Lue, you can't really say anything bad about Tyronn Lue because he won a championship and there was some bad calls in game 5, game 4. I'm sorry, game 3 where they went up last year, and I thought Cleveland should have won. And Kyle Korver missed a not wide open, but a contested 3 when he should have made it. So I can't really say anything bad about Tyronn Lue, so I won't. But the best bet is to get to Popovich. If you want to reach, you're going to reach Kareem. You're going to break all the records. You're going to be the best regular season player ever. You're going to be the best playoff player ever. But you're not going to be the best finals player ever unless you get to Popovich. If you can get to Popovich, you can win at least one more. Ask anybody. Ask any basketball mind. You want to get to Popovich. If you can get to Popovich while he's still around, let's say he's got 5 more years. If you can get 5 more years with Popovich, you will get one championship. Because who doesn't want to go to a team? Nobody wants to go live in San Antonio with the big women. But if you want to get to the finals, if you want to get to the challenge Golden State, with a mind like Popovich, and for the next 5 years, and your free agents or your young players that or even old players that want to get to a championship, and you look at Popovich and LeBron and maybe even Kawhi, then you're looking at this like